Welcome to the new and improved Nootopia presentation. We've got a lot of exciting things to share with you, so let's get right into it. In this webinar, we're going to talk about our brand new, convenient, eco-friendly packaging that we've been working on for a long time, a refresher on some of our most popular formulas, the improvements we've made to these formulas because we never stop improving all of our formulas. We've got brand new, delicious flavor options and a lot more. If you don't know who I am Matt Gallant, the CEO and co-founder of Bioptimizers, a kinesiologist with a degree in science and physical activity. I worked with multiple pro athletes. I've been formulating supplements now for 18 years, and I've been successfully following a ketogenic diet for about 30 years. I'm an entrepreneur as well, and I love great molecules, and I love people that are masters at mixing molecules, and one of the best on the planet, in my opinion, is Mr. Noots, aka Mark Effinger. Say hi, Mark.
Hey, good to hear you say that, Scott. Good to be here, guys. How are you?
Great. You want to walk us through a little bit of your background, and we'll dive right into the updates and the exciting news.
All right. So let's go right into, you controlling that?
Yeah, I'm controlling it.
All right. Oh, do you want me to go through these? I'm sorry. All right, cool. So I've got a storied history in the nutrition industry, but I started doing chemistry when I was 6 years old, got my first chemistry set as a Christmas present. That led to, and I was also doing high voltage electronics, and I was being mentored by both a PhD in microbiology and a MIT and Xerox PARC technician down at the end of the street. So I was really lucky to have incredible mentorship. And as a result of that, got to work with them on doing all kinds of cool experiments, especially around biology and about neurobiology. And so that led to building these really interesting future stuff. Many decades later, started working on natural nutrient extraction processes like vacuum extractions and nitrogen covered extraction processes, and using microporous membranes to pull out specific molecules within a molecule to be able to really optimize the output of certain compounds. And then we developed some really interesting proprietary delivery technologies to make sure that you're getting the right nutrient at the right time in the right part of the gut or in the body, and to be able to combine them at the right place in the brain. I've been working with with hundreds and hundreds of company founders and thousands of CEOs over the last 35 years since my first company founding. And as a result of that, built an incredible contact list of people that really utilized some of the insights that I would have on some of those areas. And they would come to me when they were wanting either more performance or wanted to overcome some problem. So it's been great. So what we're going to talk about is how to reverse your brain's neurochemical deficiencies and permanently level up your mental endurance. There are 8 key players in your brain's neurochemical makeup. They are dopamine, acetylcholine, anandamide, GABA, serotonin, cortisol, noradrenaline, adrenaline. If you're having off days, low days, or underperforming days more than usual, then your neurochemicals are probably in a complete funk at levels so wonky, it's no wonder you find it difficult to be your most productive. The good news is that not only can you reverse these chemical deficiencies, but you can also permanently upgrade your brain so that bad days never happen again by giving your brain the optimum levels of key nutrients. The key is customizing the dosage for your personal neurochemistry, and that's what we do. You answer our 5-minute in-depth questionnaire that allows us to evaluate your neurochemical deficiencies and build the optimized formula for your mind. Not only do the formulas take just minutes to activate your mind, but you'll find that over time, these positive effects are going to build up and raise your brain's baseline endurance. That allows for an absolute explosion in brain power, creativity, confidence, focus, and domination. After taking just a few doses of your personalized formulas, you'll find that you are much more effective than you were in the beginning. This is due to neurogenesis, or the generation of new neurons forming that produce exciting neural pathways to take your brain to the next level. That gives you the ability to boost your cognitive performance, think through more tasks without burnout, manage more projects without rising stress, and handle more mental stress without bending or breaking. Increase your capacity to learn new things quickly and effortlessly, and articulate things better in a more meaningful way.
All right,
So
Mark, you've been the mastermind of this, been cooking for a long time, and it's finally here. So talk about the new packaging.
Wow. So if any of you know LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, one of the largest fashion design firms in the world, we happen to be very fortunate to be close friends with one of the former lead designers of that. And we were looking for a way, almost 7, 8 years ago now, we're looking for a way to present our unique products in a way that actually was as powerful and as organic as the products themselves. So what we did is we designed this really cool new, we call it a mag pack or magnetic packaging, that is a total departure from what you'll probably are familiar with in nutrient packaging. So as you see these are pocketable, they're eco-friendly, they're safekeeping made easy with magnetic closures, they're thoughtfully designed foam organizers so you can see all of your products at a glance. And each tube of powder now comes in a carton divider so that they're separated so you can actually find them easier and conveniently travel with you your nootropics. So let's get into the products. Matt, you want to lead this one?
No, I actually want you to talk about all the upgrades, but maybe give a little bit of a quick background on the history of NectarX, because that was your first baby in the nootropic world.
It was. In fact, NectarX was the byproduct of a little over 3,000 beta tests with a little over 1,100 of my my really, really smart clients and friends who I'd been working with for years. And so I would send them tubes of this powder and they would respond and say, that tastes like crap, but it really works well. But the byproduct of it was, once we hit the right neurochemical balance within these products, they suddenly started taking flight. And we found that customization, of course, was a key to that. But here's what we found is, or one of the things I'd like to talk about first is the work of Chastity Myers, who is our chief flavorist, who has been working diligently to make our products even more delicious and more effective at the same time. Everything she does is purely organic, all natural. She looks deep into the sources for everything and works really critically with our suppliers. So really great. So listen, man, life is learning. And the faster you learn, the better your life will be. People who learn faster experience higher quality of life in just about every area. Think about it. Learning improves your professional performance, which makes you more money. Learning can improve your money management, investments, and ability to build wealth. But it's not just money or financial success. The faster you learn about your health, the better you can eat, exercise, and nourish your body. The better you will look and feel, the higher your confidence will be. And people with high confidence levels have an unfair advantage in life. That's why supporting your brain's capacity to learn faster and perform better is so important. And that's where NectarX comes in.
Mark, can you talk a little bit about the upgrades that were made to the 2.0 formula?
Yeah. So one of the issues that we had was some components in it that were not what we felt organically friendly. So people that were sensitive to organic products or are really looking for a pure organic solution, there were some components in there that were just not hip. So what we did is we completely stripped the product down. We rebuilt it from scratch. And what we did is we made it completely what you consider the safest as well as the most effective product. And our process of going from seed to supplement was being respected in that, meaning that we didn't add any artificial colors or artificial flavors or anything that would trigger your alarm for any artificial components. So we've really made them clean. So NectarX 2.0, we have a new grapefruit raspberry flavor. Now, here's an interesting thing. Flavors aren't just flavors, especially when they're natural and especially when they're extracted properly, where they still maintain all the critical components that make that flavor important. So polyphenols and other components. So grapefruit, which is really, really key to a thing called the CP450 enzyme. CP450 enzyme in the gut breaks down critical neurochemicals really quickly. But if you find a way to moderate that, which we do with grapefruit, it does an incredible job of keeping those critical neurochemicals at high levels in your gut so that they have an opportunity to work through your brain. So here's the deal. NectarX 2.0 Grapefruit Raspberry. It gives your brain all the nutrients it needs for super learning. NectarX is a powerful drink that'll turn your brain and get you ready for epic days. It consists of a custom blended 16-gram tube of nootropics in a powdered mix. It contains a wide variety of powerful nutrients for improving memory and retention, learning speed, verbal fluency, and mental performance. And while NectarX can support you all day long, the effects will wear off by early evening, so you won't interrupt your sleep. One thing I want to mention on top of this is you're getting this benefit of a thing called neurogenesis that we mentioned earlier, and we'll mention it multiple times throughout this presentation. So even though the effects, the elevation of mood and other things will start to fade in the evening so that you can sleep effectively and you can gain benefits from that, you also have the benefit of this neurogenesis that you just created during the day, meaning that new neural pathways were formed, meaning that your learning and recall will be enhanced. And those are permanent. So it's a really, really positive thing. So simply mix into 24 ounces of water, drink for intense presence, energy, and clarity. Or you can sip it from morning through the afternoon for a balanced level of energy, clarity, and focus. This drink has a wide variety of benefits, including feeling immediate levels of increased optimism, elevated sex drive and performance, greater energy for exercise, metabolism, and muscle building, more ambition and drive to get stuff done, greater learning and retention of new information, improved neurogenesis, stimulation of new brain cells. It increases levels of serotonin, dopamine, and acetylcholine, which is incredibly important for mood, and can even help you break unhealthy habits.
One of the cool things about NectarX is that it's a powder that you can mix with about 1 liter of water, and you don't need to drink the whole thing. So what I do a lot of times is I'll mix a tube, 1 liter of water, and I'll put it in the fridge, and it's already there when I need it. I can drink half of it, a quarter of it. Sometimes I might sip a bottle over 4 to 5 hours. So it's just a really powerful tool when I need a little bit of a pick-me-up in the afternoon, or if I just want to have kind of that all-day juice. Now, we got another new flavor. We've been working on this one for a while. It's another product we've cleaned up. Mark, maybe talk a little bit about the purpose of Power Solution, who it's for, and then talk about the upgrades.
So one of the things, both Matt and I have spent a lot of time moving iron around in the gym. And when you do that, you'll meet a lot of people that are doing these pre-workout supplements. And those are highly caffeine dependent. And basically what they do is they just jack up your adrenals and make it so you can move more weight. Problem is, it comes at a cost. What we wanted to do was to make a high performance, high focus drink that's delicious, and that whether you're a gamer or whether you're trying to get that last rep out, would work very effectively for you. But instead of relying on adrenal output, we could use a nootropic blend that would increase your dopamine levels, a little bit of noradrenaline, norepinephrine, and also balance it out with your GABA glutamate levels and your serotonin levels. So you're having this orchestration of different neurochemicals working in your favor, doing it in ratios that give you this performance output without burning anything out. So
yeah, it's definitely, it's powerful. It's definitely my go-to pre-workout, especially on leg day, back day. It's potent.
And I use it. I find it to be extremely effective for helping me to get work done during an extended period. I'm inherently ADHD, so having something that helps me to stay focused and in the work for a long time and enjoy it because I've got the right neurotransmitters working for me is extremely powerful.
And it's a lot of women's favorite. So a lot of women love the power of Power Solution.
True. And of course, cherry limeade, our new flavor, incredible. Our chief flavorologist put that together. It took her quite a long time. One of the things about nootropics is they're typically fairly bitter, so they're hard to mask. And that's why you'll find in pre-workouts or other high stimulant products, they'll typically have a really, really deep list of artificial flavors and artificial sweeteners in order to try to mask those. We were able to do it fully organically, and it's a really beautiful thing. We've actually even got a proprietary protein sweetener that is really unique and very powerful for us. So Power Solution 2.0 Cherry Limeade. Have you ever felt like it's literally impossible to do one more minute of work? Or have you felt super overwhelmed with tasks and responsibilities with no time to mentally recharge? Burnout is a reaction to ongoing stress, particularly in the workplace. According to studies, employees who are burned out frequently experience crushing exhaustion, feelings of cynicism, and detachment from their job, and a lack of accomplishment. We formulated an incredible all-day energy booster designed to light up your brain in minutes. That will allow you to avoid crashing and burning at the end of a long workday with lightning fast thinking and problem solving, combined with infinite stamina to free yourself from burnout. And this really is a very powerful formula for that. It's been a lifesaver for me. I've been under incredible stress over the last decade, and this has been one of those go-tos that helped me in every way. And not just in the gym, but literally when I'm sitting in front of a screen and I need to get stuff done, this baby is my jam.
And when we say light up your brain in minutes, that's not an exaggeration. Again, you mix the entire tube of powder with about a liter of water, and we recommend sipping maybe an eighth of it, maybe a quarter of it, and see how it hits you. And then you can sip a little more over time. And again, this is one of these formulas where you don't need to drink the entire bottle. A lot of times I'll drink a quarter of it and it's more than enough. So anyways, we can hop to the next new release. This is the one I'm probably the most excited about because ever since Mark fed me some mystery powder at an event and he didn't tell me what it was, and it ended up being Collagenous, I've fallen in love with this product. I've literally used Collagenous every single day except maybe 2 or 3 days in the last year and a half because I was traveling, I ran out, something like that. I mix it with my coffee, and the salted caramel flavor is absolutely off the charts. So if you're a fan of salted caramel, you will be blown away. Of course, we still have the chocolate flavor if you prefer that. But Mark, talk about Collagenous.
So I love this product, and Chastity has been our flavorologist was also critical for the creation of this product. But as I was trying to make really highly concentrated nootropic capsules, she smelled it, said, "This smells like something we can do something with," and started turning it into a chocolatey, coffee-ish thing that really blew my mind. And we've refined it quite a bit since it's become a packaged product. So it was pretty fun. When I gave samples of this to Matt Wade and the team at a Dave Asprey event, it was a complete blowaway. It wasn't I wonder if that's interesting. It was how do we get more, which is a good clue. So what we've done now is we've taken it from our original Chocolicious flavor, and we've added a new flavor called salted caramel, and it is delicious. If you're a Starbucks fan of their salted caramel drinks, you'll love this. Here's the deal. The majority of people's brains aren't running at 100%. They don't have that performance increase, whether it's due to suboptimal genetics, which is a real factor, or lifestyle factors such as lack of high quality sleep or chronically high stress levels, or an inadequate diet filled with little brain food or very little brain food. A root cause of these shortcomings is a deficit in what's called neurogenesis. I told you we'd say this again. Neurogenesis is the process of neurons being formed in the brain, and it plays a vital role in cognitive functions such as memory and the ability to form cohesive thoughts. Deficits in adult neurogenesis may contribute to cognitive impairment, loss of normal physiological function, and a compromised ability to form new memories, learn, and feel emotions. And it's critical. So with Collagenous 2.0 salted caramel, we discovered a way to concentrate these brain-benefiting mushrooms to make the effect of each mushroom significantly stronger. And it's not a joke, and it's not just hyperbole, and it's not a marketing copy. This is the truth. It took us a long time to get this refined. We sampled over 100 mushroom samples from various growers across the world before landing on these. So this is not an easy effort. So we combined hyper-concentrated versions of these mushrooms into Collagenius 2.0. We have a 50-to-1 lion's mane, 100-to-1 chaga, 100-to-1 cordyceps, and 100-to-1 reishi. One drink comes out to 1.2 pounds of concentrated raw mushrooms. I want you to say this slowly. One 18-gram drink comes out to 1.2 pounds of concentrated raw mushrooms. So if you tried to eat 1.2 pounds of concentrated raw mushrooms, that'd be one hell of a meal. But you can do it with 18 grams, basically 1 scoop or 2 scoops of this incredibly delicious salted caramel Collagenius. You won't taste mushrooms in this. It's one thing I can assure you. So after drinking Collagenius 2.0 salted caramel, you'll instantly feel your mind and body wake up. You'll actually get, your brain will tingle a little bit. It's kind of cool. Your brain will quickly start being able to process things in an optimized, structured way. You'll immediately be able to dive into deep work, be creative, or even meditate. It's really cool. Collagenius 2.0 allows you to feel whole brain because it doesn't just target one area of the brain. It also has brain regenerative properties through increasing neurotrophins like BDNF.
Yeah, the BDNF boosting power of lion's mane, the ATP boosting power of cordyceps, which makes you feel more energy, and then the grounding effects of reishi just make you feel awesome. Like I said, this is my go-to. I drink it every morning. I mix it with my coffee. Some people like it cold. Mark, I know you've done ice cream with it. Maybe talk about that really quick.
Yeah, it actually makes probably the most delicious salted caramel ice cream in the world, and the Chocolicious the same for chocolate ice cream. And we just took a simple ice cream maker. They've got quite a few on Amazon you can pick up. And if you're an ice cream aficionado, and I consider myself one, this will be up there in your top 3 ice creams. It's fantastic. Mix it with some really, really rich, heavy milk fat milk, and put it in your ice cream maker. And in 5 to 10 minutes, you'll have the most delicious soft serve you've had in quite a while.
Awesome. Yes, we covered a lot of this. So here's the cool thing is we got nothing to sell you tonight. Nothing. Because we're launching all of these on Monday. And next week is our big Black Friday sale. It's our biggest sale of the year. And we wanted to introduce these products to you, get you ready, get you excited. And I'm going to go over some of the deals that you're going to get on these new formulas. So first, NectarX 2.0, you can buy this by itself for $95 for 20 servings, $55 for 10 servings. But during Black Friday, you'll save an additional 25% off. So make sure you take advantage of that. And of course, if you're a subscriber to World Domination, Focus, Ferocity, or Brilliance on Demand, you can get these new versions in your box. Power Solution, same price point, 20 servings for $95, 10 servings for $55, and you will get an additional 25% off during Black Friday week. Collagenius, again, this is one of these products you want to stock up, in my opinion. If you get 5 jars at Subscribe and Save, it'll be $255, 3 jars for $164, and 1 jar for $66. And again, you can get an additional 25% off site-wide during Black Friday week, and that includes Bioptimizers as well. We have a lot of super fans of our formulas, a lot of really high-level people, including Ben Greenfield. Ben hits us up all the time to get restocked with goodies. He's a super fan. Luke Voigt was a good friend of mine, been a game changer for him. So yeah, anyways, that's it. That's all we got, but we are open for questions. If you have any questions about nootropics, anything that we talked about, or anything Nootopia related, we're here to answer any questions you may have. So let the questions flow.
Hit me.
Hi guys. So our first question says, can we request to get the product without any flavor at all?
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, technically the pills don't have flavor. With the powders, as Mark alluded to, a lot of the nootropics, because they have amino acids or very strong herbs, they taste pretty rough, unflavored. I mean, as Mark said, we spend a lot of time, dozens, sometimes over 100 different variations to make it taste good. And we have a new secret sweetener weapon called talmathin, which helps us bury some of the weird notes. So as of right now, we don't have any plans to do unflavored, but again, we're always open for feedback and we appreciate the question.
All right, someone else wants to know. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Will the Collagenous salted caramel be dairy-free?
Mark,
Try that again.
the dairy-free.
They're asking when it will be dairy-free. I also have another question that says, you've been promising a vegan version of Collagenous since Chocolicious. Will that also be made available? So I'm just tying those two together.
Oh, good, good. So we actually make here in the lab, I'm in our ILO lab, we do make a vegan version, and pretty good. The current version actually is pretty damn close to that, if not right on it right now. So it shouldn't be a problem, but you'll watch for that coming out. Wade, being vegan, vegetarian, he's kind of requested it, and we always make it up for him. So look for that in the future.
But that's not available to customers at this time. It's just a special request for a select few people. Is that right?
Yeah, not this moment.
Okay. Third question, does the Collagenous salted caramel lose efficacy if mixed with hot water? Or what can I take it with?
No, the mushrooms
ahead,
are hot water extracted. So, you know, they're already, again, they're exposed to hot water as part of the extraction process and some other techniques. So yeah, there's no problems there at all.
Yep. We do that. And the reason we use hot water when we do the extraction is that it's really important to be able to break the chitin shell on the mushroom. The chitin shell is a very hard shell that keeps it from being bioavailable. So when you hear about cold water extracted mushrooms, unless they're micronized, it's going to be very difficult for those to actually get through the gut and actually activate.
I see the question about aspartame. Ask that question because it's a great one.
All right. I noticed some of the formulas, aspartame is in the ingredients label. Why would that be included?
That was that was a previous formulation, and one of the reasons that we were so diligent on reformulating these as diligently as possible, because we know some of the downsides of any of these artificial sweeteners. The hardest thing for us was to find an artificial or find a all natural sweetener that would actually be super effective, whether it's monk fruit or stevia. Those just don't necessarily have all of the components necessary to be able to mask some of the secondary and tertiary notes that are present in these compounds that make up our drinkables for the nootropics. So, but what we did is we spent the last year and a half digging deep into this West Africa vine, this component, and called talmathin. And once we were able to find a reliable farm and supplier, then we were able to start transitioning. And so that's what we've done.
All right, just a Masszymes question. So it talks about Masszymes 3.0. When will it talk about 4.0? Here's a secret. 4.0 is out. If you go buy Masszymes today, you're actually going to receive 4.0. And the reason we haven't talked about it is because we've been so busy launching things, including the book, the video course, the Nootopia products. We have other things that we're pushing the announcement a little further out, but Masszymes 4.0 is out, and all the new versions of the digestive products will be coming out over the next few months. So stay tuned.
And they're not incremental improvements either. Our Bosnian lab team has done an incredible job of evaluating every one of the raws, every vendor that supplies a raw, and every one of our unique enzymatic components. And as a result of that, and using potentiation technology, we've been able to create a much more effective product per dose. So super excited about that.
Next.
Is there any information available to see the quantity of the ingredients that you guys have in your products, including Power Solution and the Nectarines?
That's the question everybody wants to know, right, Mark?
Yeah, exactly. So let me answer this directly. No. And the reason no is that everything we make is customized. We built this on a platform of customization. It's interesting. We got a review recently where the individual that was doing the review said there's no way you could afford to build a company that personalizes each of these products. And as Matt will tell you, it's an expensive proposition. It's the reason we have a robotics division in our company. But it's what we do. We customize each of these. And the reason for that was when I was building these as prototypes, back to those 3,000 plus prototypes, is we found that if we just gave our individuals, there's 1,100 plus individuals, if we just gave them a one size fits all solution, somewhere around 30, 32%, maybe 40% of those people, if we kind of got it better, were having a positive experience, where a significant of the remainder were having either a neutral or slightly negative experience. Once we started personalizing, once we started taking a look at their neurotransmitter makeup and their height, weight, age, sex, and what, maybe how they train, and maybe what their coffee intake is, and what their goals were, and we were able to make incremental adjustments and record those to a database so that we could continue to build on that data that we were extracting. We found that once we got into personalization, the results were as much as 97.x% positive. So there's a reason that we don't release the data yet. But as we're getting more and more into AI technologies and some of the other things that can help us to pull these incremental data points out, I would look for in the next year and a half, maybe a sheet, a printout that might accompany your package that says, hey, here's where the customization came in.
Yeah. And when we build formulas, like for an example, Massom's 4.0, we literally spent 3 years building that. We did over 400 enzyme experiments. It's a lot of time, energy, money. And of course, everybody wants to know how we're doing it and what the ratios of things are, because the magic is really in the combination of things. And Mark is an absolute wizard at combining the right ratios of nootropics to create, not just the caffeinated or stim effect, but a really balanced, enhanced creativity state of mind. And yeah, we're just not going to reveal the secret sauce, so to speak. Is there any other final questions?
I have a couple more. I noticed you recently released a new version of Zamner juice. Is it caffeine free? Or do you have a caffeine free version?
We do. Zamner juice, Mark, maybe talk about the story of Zamner juice. Why was it built in the first place?
Yeah, it's good call on that one, by the way, Mr. Writer-Inner or Miss Writer-Inner. So that was made by, I had a client when we're making these custom nootropic stacks, and had a client that owned emergency medical clinics in both Vancouver, Washington and Portland, Oregon. There's two main traffic routes. There's the I-5 and the I-205 between there, and they are jam-packed most of the time. She literally called me from her car and said, Mark, I'm about to jump out of my car, grab the trucker in the truck in front of me that's been there for the last 20 minutes, rip him out of his cab, get behind the wheel, and mow over the rest of the cars like a scene out of Terminator. Because you got to get me something that's going to chill me out, bro. So she ended up in my office, and we spent a couple of hours together finding out what the real problems were, what the inherent issues were. And as a result of that, we came up with something that instantaneously ups your GABA levels so that you actually feel more relaxed and more effective and focused without having that high stim. We put a little tiny bit of stim in there. Again, you're not having very much, because you're taking it under the tongue, so it absorbs under the tongue, and then you swallow what remains. And so it acts almost instantaneously within a couple of minutes, and then it has a nice 90-minute to 3-hour half-life where it just kind of keeps you in that zone. But anyhow, so we got that. But one of the things that a number of our customers asked for, and one of the reasons that I love formulating with Bioptimizers and Nootopia, is the fact that we listen to everyone and we take that insight and we say, okay, what are the real factors here and what are we trying to accomplish? And one of those was some people don't metabolize caffeine very well. So it puts them into a jitter mood right away, even a little bit of a stimulant. And so we worked hard on making that so that you still got the lift you would get from the rise in GABA levels and the very, very slight glutamate and dopamine level increase along with serotonin, but you didn't get the stim that you would get from caffeine or the adenosine receptor plugging that you would have from caffeine. So it's a really cool product.
So,
Okay.
yeah, we do have a caffeine-free version, and yeah, it's such a great product. A lot of people always have it with them. It's easy to carry. You can put it in your purse, in your pocket, and anytime you need a little bit of cool, groovy chill, 4 to 6 sprays, boom, you're there.
Yeah, here's a power move too. If you happen to be a Gabalicious fan, drink your Gabalicious and don't slam it. I wouldn't recommend slamming it. I would, drink it throughout. Take an hour, take a half hour, whatever your typical drink time is, but no need to chug it. And you can enhance it while you're drinking it with a couple sprays of Xamarin juice. It's really cool, and you'll see the GABA levels increase measurably, and you'll go into this incredibly good chill mode, but conversational. You'll want to have an opportunity to talk with people and share your day, and it's a really nice positive emotional mode as well.
Did I just hear synergy?
Boom.
We're all about stacking things at Bioptimizers and Nootopia. So, all right, next question.
Can I pair the power solution with the dopa drops, or will that overload my neurotransmitters?
Oh no, that's a great one actually. So there are very few people in the world that are more dopaminergic than Matt Gallant. He lives in his favorite place in the world is in a relatively high dopamine state, and those two are incredibly good bedfellows. So taking those, you'll want to sip the drink, and take the dopa drop. I would recommend taking it 45 minutes to an hour before you start the drink, and that will pre-charge your system and get you all the dopamine precursors and start that flow going, and then you can boost it with that, and it becomes incredibly powerful.
That stack is definitely a take over the world domination combo.
Yeah.
But for anybody who hasn't tried dopa drops, it's become one of our top selling products. I mean, people absolutely love dopa drops. So again, if you haven't tried it, I can't recommend it highly enough. Most people are deficient in dopamine. Their dopamine is below baseline, and when they take dopa drops, they just feel on fire. Funny story, I had a closet that I didn't want to just deal with for years. I took a dopa drop, I cleaned the whole thing. So that's the power of dopa drops. You will clean closets.
Yeah.
The point is, you'll do stuff that you typically would struggle to do. That's the power.
Yeah. Yep. The motivation part of it is incredible, as well as the reward part, because you've got that. It's anybody that spends too much time on Instagram or TikTok, or is looking for those instant likes, or is stuck in a dopaminergic cycle and they need to get out of it. This is a great solution for that. And contrary to popular belief, this is not throwing dopamine at your system so that it downregulates dopamine. This is actually incrementally increasing dopamine levels using conversion process of various precursors to dopamine. It's really, really powerful and really neat. It's a 3-stage dopamine release mechanism. So really powerful.
Right. I sometimes feel aggressive when using the Nectarex, especially when paired with other products. I don't have this reaction when used on its own. Do you have any suggestions on how to avoid this? Do I need to drink less when stacking the products?
Yeah, you can do a couple of things. You want to take that one, Matt?
Well, yeah, one of the things I always love to remind people is that the dose creates the effect. Drinking one glass of wine is very different than drinking a bottle of whiskey. The dose creates the effect with everything, both on the good side and the bad side. So yeah, if you're feeling too much stim, you have two options. One, you can tell us on your intake form to lower the level of stim, and we will actually give you a different version of Nectar X that has less stim. So that's one option. And the other option is, yeah, drink less. As I mentioned earlier, I love mixing the entire tube with a liter of water, and I might only drink a quarter of it or half of it. You don't need to drink the entire tube in one shot. And that's true for Power Solution, Gabalicious, Nectar X. The power of the mixability is that you can dose to the exact levels that you need. You don't need to drink the entire thing. Mark, any further comments?
Yeah, and that's exactly why we made it as a drink. We could have done it as a small handful of caps, but being able to meter it out is really, really valuable. And if you want, one of the cool things you can do with that is, so take something like a Dopa Drop or like a Brain Flow or an Upbeat. Those are kind of your chill areas, and you can lightly sip that product. And remember, you can refrigerate it. So take a couple sips, throw it in the fridge, and let that be your guide. And I'll sip a little tiny bit, about an ounce of Nectar X every half hour, perhaps. And that keeps me at this high level of performance without that edgy level. And I love that you said, that aggression and that grind. That is a really powerful thing to have when you're trying to move a bunch of iron around in the gym. But it can be a negative when you're trying to actually do some focus things or do some other elements, some other activities where you need to maybe be a little bit happier and more gentle-minded. So, and again, you can also take a look at that and say, okay, I really like a characteristic of this, but I'm really looking just for the cognitive performance and not the aggression side of it. And that's where Nectar X can be a really great infill for that.
All right, my last question is, do you do private consultations?
I think it's available for the right price, right, Mark?
Exactly. So the biggest challenge, that all of us have that are on this call is time, right? And it's not that we're overworked or don't have real time, but it's the most expensive commodity in our lives often. And so aside from our health. And so, yeah, the right person, absolutely. And, there's also, you can also send me, Mr. Newts, mrnewts@nootopia.com. You can send me a small handful of questions, and I'll be happy to turn that into either an email response, or I might verbalize it for you and send it back that way. But yeah, I'm happy to help in that way. And eventually we're hoping to have a platform that allows us to do more of that, because I think it's really valuable. And I love connecting with our customers. It's one of my great joys in the world, is to get a text or an email or a high five or a smoke alarm of somebody going, "Hey man, thank you. That really was effective," or "I really appreciate that product you made. That's why I'm here." I love it.
Yeah. So if you're serious about that, you can email us at support@nootopia.com, and we'll get back to you with some package options. And also, we have the Bio Tribe, which is a private Facebook group on Facebook, which allows you to ask questions, and Mark interacts, I interact, all kinds of us interact, and we answer pretty much every question that comes in. So if you're not taking advantage of that, make sure you do. Yeah. So again, the Bio Tribe is an incredible asset, and just do that for free, because that's who we are, how we roll. All right. If there's no further questions, again, we appreciate all your time. Get your credit cards ready for Monday. Black Friday is coming. Incredible deals. And, my suggestion is, of course, stock up on your favorites and try some new things. Try some stuff that, Collagenous, Dopa Drops. Those are some of my favorites. And even on the Bioptimizer side, Stress Guardian has become one of my staples. So if you haven't tried that product, make sure you give that a go. It's an incredible formula, and it pairs really well with the Nootopia stacks. When you take Stress Guardian with the nootropics, what you feel is you're incredibly grounded and you're alert, you're focused, you're energized, but you're not getting that jitteriness on any level. So it's just a beautiful combo.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone. Thanks for the team for helping us, supporting us. And Mark, thanks for being here.
You got it. Love you guys. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.